Since nobody's watching, I'm going to go ahead and fix something to eat. But what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you all how to make manicotti. So I'm going to fix a lunch of champions here because I'm hungry. And since nobody's on leave, it might be a bad time to do this because you guys are either at work or maybe eating lunch. But I have to feed the dog. So we're going to feed the dog. Come on, Piper. Sit. Sit. Good girl, Stan. Good girl. Good girl. Eat. What a good dog. Anyway, I'm having a bad back day today. It's actually more like a bad shoulder day. I'm hoping that this video will be saved because I don't make this a lot. It's an easy meal to make and it's really good, but, and I'm not talking about these SpaghettiOs. I live on these things during hunting season because I can just open a can up and eat it cold and go on about my day, whether that's fishing or deer hunting or shooting coyotes or whatever we have to be doing. So, I don't know. Might be a bad time to do this. But the other day everybody was on, so we'll wait to see if we get some people on here. Like I say, most of my guys want to watch me fishing, not cooking. But it's good stuff. Miss Piper. Miss Piper says I'm having lunch and it's really good too. Hey, how you doing today? Like and subscribe, share, say hello. So let me know if I've got sound. If somebody on will let me know I have sound, I'd really appreciate it. I'm gonna wait for a few more people. I'm fixing something to eat. I'm gonna show y'all how to make a killer dish of manicotti, and it's like a stuffed pasta. But instead of doing a bunch of work, you can make this in like 20 minutes. Because today is my wedding anniversary. And so I told my wife I'd fix dinner, and she loves my manicotti. So I'm gonna show y'all how to do this very quickly. Instead of boiling shells and doing all that kind of stuff, this actually makes it taste better the way I do it. And I was taught to do this by I could cook. I was raised cooking and baking, and I could grill, I could do all that stuff because my mom and my grandmother taught me how to do a lot. However, this is like my signature dish, and my wife really likes it, so I was like, not the SpaghettiOs, this is my lunch. I had to feed the dog, and I love Italian food. Anyway, my stepfather's father, who's from Sicily, because he's full-blooded Italian, taught me how to do this. Because I made manicotti, but I always made it like, hey Eddie, how you doing, man? Like and subscribe. I hope y'all are doing good. Since you guys are on here, I'm going to go ahead and start this, and this won't take long. So this is a manicotti dish. For those of you who don't know what manicotti is, if you like lasagna, you'd love manicotti. Thanks, Eddie. I appreciate it, man. I like the John Deere. Awesome. That's awesome. We got a lot of John Deere farm equipment here. We live in Grace, Idaho, in the middle of nowhere. It's a farming community. So anyway, or if you guys don't mind, I know people probably don't want to sit here and watch me eat, but I can tell you about this manicotti. So every time I fixed it, the person I fixed it for has really enjoyed it. So when I was in college, I did all right with the dating scene. Back then, you had to go talk to people. It wasn't all online with the phone and stuff. Anyway, so my psychology professor said something to me about it once. He's like, you seem to do all right with the dating scene. Because, you know, the professor kind of get to know you. I'm like, yeah, I do all right. He goes, do you cook for him? Or do you feed him? And I'm like, well, yeah, we always go out to dinner. He goes, no. Do you actually feed your date? Like, take them to your house and cook them something? I said, no. It's just easier to go out to dinner. He was a Dr. Mo at the University of Florida. He said it was a little Chinese dude. He was cool as crap. And he said, you got to cook for him. if you cook for them, fill their belly up, it'll work every time. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. He said, no, seriously. So I like to dunk. That's cool. Peggy, hey, how you doing? Nolan, hi, how are you? World, Iran from Jay. Anyway, so my psychology professor told me to cook for him. Can you cook? And I'm like, yeah. Actually, I cook really well. And they said, do you have a signature dish? I'm like, yeah, kind of. I make manicotti. He said, that's a good one. He said, next time, cook for him. Cook for him and see what happens. So I did. And he was right. So anyway, I'm going to turn this so y'all can see what I'm doing. And for those of you who are hanging on, it's worth it. Because I'm telling you, fix this. Fix this for somebody. And it's to die for. Because I'm just a redneck who can cook. And it's Italian. So it kind of, you know. So what you need, I don't need to look at the instructions or get a recipe out. We cook, we're from the South. Our dishes are never the same exactly. Because we kind of just throw stuff in there. So what you need is a big old giant thing of ricotta. That's first. And then of course they make these where old people can't open them without a knife because, you know, we're old and our hands don't work. So get your big old thing of ricotta, dump it in there, the whole thing. And you could save this and like rinse it out if you want to. I usually don't. I just kind of get the ricotta in here. Get a big old spoon because you're going to need it. Make sure your ricotta's fresh. Always check the date on these things because sometimes they're good about sneaking stuff in there. So this goes in the trash. Then we need a measuring cup because we need 8 ounces of grated mozzarella. And again, so there's 32 ounces. Some recipes will tell you to use 15 ounces of ricotta. I don't. I use the big one because you're going to be able to... Of course, the phone's ringing. I guess I better answer it.
Call from voicemail, red city. Call from voicemail, red city.
Never mind. Sorry about that. It's somebody trying to sell us something, and if I pick it up, they're going to be like, you know... Anyway, sorry about that. So get your ricotta in here, kind of get it chopped up. And then we're going to get some Parmesan Romano. It could be just Parmesan. And I tried using the regular grated Parmesan one time. Just grated Parmesan, like the, you know, bag of it. It doesn't work as well. You really need this grated. And you only need about 1/4 cup of it. So 1/4 cup of Parmesan or Parmesan oregano. Always set it on something flat. And again, this is like the one thing that I actually measure, because if you overdo it with this Parmesan, it makes it a little gritty. And you spread that out over in there. So there's our Parmesan. We got our ricotta. I'm gonna set all this stuff out of the way. And then we need mozzarella. And the mozzarella, I just used 8 ounces, an 8-ounce package of grated mozzarella. And the other thing I'm going to do, and here comes the dog, because she hears something that's like cellophane opening up and they think they're going to get something. And I actually give them a piece of cheese usually because cheese isn't bad for them. And they like the cheese. So 8 ounces of grated mozzarella. That's a whole bag. My sister's going to have a fit because I'm blowing my carnivore diet to pieces. But it's my wedding anniversary, and my wife wanted manicotti. So when your wife, who hasn't left you, wants something for supper, you fix it. So we got Parmesan, mozzarella, and ricotta. And then we're going to take an egg. And the reason we put this egg in here is to kind of keep the cheese together. You don't have to put an egg in there if you don't want to. You don't taste it. It's not like you can taste the egg. You can use 2 eggs if you want to, because the more egg you use, the more consistent, like stiff your cheese will be, and it won't flow out. I like it to flow out of just a little bit. But the reason we make so much of this is we're not going to be stuffing shells that are washed out and, that have been um, boiled. That's what makes this save so much time, because I literally I can have this thrown together ready to go in the oven if I'm not talking to people in about 10 minutes. But anybody you fix it for will think that you did a buttload of work to make this, because usually you have to boil the shells and normally I'll make my own spaghetti sauce, but nowadays it's just cheaper to then I get real salt. This is not like the salt out of the thing. Yeah, finding joy on this journey. It will. This stuff is really good. So you need to make it. Since you just joined, it's one full thing of a 32-ounce thing of ricotta cheese, an 8-ounce package of mozzarella, a quarter cup of Parmesan cheese, and 1 egg. And you could put 2 eggs in there. And then again, I don't really measure this stuff out. I put real salt in there, and a little bit of this goes a long way, because it's a lot better than table salt. So we're going to put a little bit of salt in here. And then we're going to put parsley in here. Parsley does not affect the flavor. It's just to make it look pretty. Because again, you want your dish to look nice, especially if you're making it for your significant other. And again, for those of you who just joined, it's my wedding anniversary, my wife. This is white pepper. It'll add just a little bit of spice to it, but it's not overpowering because it's white pepper, not coarse black. And then we take some of this Italian seasoning and put it in here. And again, the spaghetti sauce has Italian seasoning in it, but I like to add just a little bit more. Not a lot, but just enough. So see, when you get done, it's really pretty because it's got all this parsley in it. So then we mix this up a little bit more, and we're going to put some garlic in there because my wife and I both love garlic. And you can use garlic salt if you don't have diced garlic. You can use garlic, granulated garlic, but just don't use too much of it because it'll overpower the cheese. So I usually take some of this, get a fresh spoon, so I'm not using the spoon that I was eating my SpaghettiOs with. And again, they make these things where it's hard to open them. I can't believe that opened up so easy. Because usually, no Piper, you're not getting any garlic. Hang on, let me throw this in the trash. And then I'm going to put two, this would be a teaspoon. I'm going to put just 1.5 of these and a little bit of the juice in here. Because again, we love garlic. It's good for you. We don't waste garlic. Anyway, so yeah, big thing of ricotta cheese, 8-ounce package of shredded mozzarella, a quarter cup of Parmesan or Parmesan oregano, but use the grated stuff. I said earlier, I tried using regular shredded Parmesan cheese, and it was just too much. The Parmesan will get grainy if that's the only thing I measure. Measure out the quarter cup, because if you put too much, it's just not right. Okay, so when we get done, this is what we got. Now this is where I do it different than everybody else. And I even worked for a short time when I was first moved to Pueblo, Colorado, at a restaurant where I was assistant kitchen manager. They had manicotti on the menu. And I was telling John Butler, the guy who owned the place, I'm like, I got a way to make that manicotti that's a lot easier on you guys, because they were stuffing shells with a bag that you use to decorate cakes. And I'm like, dude, you can make that a lot easier and it saves a lot of time. And it was much better. He was like, that was one of the best things anybody had ever added to our how to make on our menu, because it just saved a bunch of time. And this is where I'm cheating today. I'm using a big old thing of ragu. So what you want to do, get your ragu, get your shells, which I don't know where my wife put them. When you buy your shells, shake it and make sure it doesn't sound like there's broken shells in there, because that always sucks when you get a package of this and the shells are broken. So I think you guys can see this. Let me turn this just a little bit more so you can see it. Less prep and time, actually. Yeah, it's this, but everybody thinks that it took you forever to make this. So before, like my wife knows how I make it now, but this is something I don't tell everybody because it's kind of a cool secret, is if I made this for somebody back in college or a date night or whatever through my life, they think you did a lot of work. They think that you boiled the shells and you stuffed the shells and you went through all this stuff, and they would usually say, wow, that's really cool that you made this. That had to be a lot of work. I never lied to him. I just said, no, it wasn't that much work as you think, or something like that. Because I just downplayed it. Because I'm not going to lie to them. Because if they straight up ask me, how'd you do this? I'd tell them. And there's friends that I've told this to. Because, again, this stuff is delicious. And I like it better than lasagna. You could put meat in it. You could do a lot of things with it. But I like the full cheese lasagna. So, again, we're cheating. So we're going to take some ragu, we're going to pour it in our pan here, and we do this so it won't stick. You can put olive oil in there if you want to. It adds a little bit to it. But again, we're trying to make this as quick as we can. So that what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this all done. It's 12:15 our time in Idaho. I'll put it in the fridge. Tonight, I'll throw it in the oven about 2 hours before we're ready to eat. You take your shell that is not soft. See, it's nice and hard. So check this out. I could fill this shell in no time. And yes, I did wash my hands before I started. So you hold your 2 fingers back here. Just keep shoving it. I wish I knew how to speed this up. Like some people I know can do this and they'll show you how to do it and then they can advance it on there. I don't do any editing. So to start with, I'm going to always put one on this end. And then you just nestle them in your spaghetti sauce here. But if I really just shut up and did this, I could do this in like 5 minutes. And then when you're done, we're going to stuff all our little shells here. We're going to cover the rest of the spaghetti sauce on top of these. But I'm going to take the spaghetti sauce container and add about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of water. Because what happens is that water is what your pasta shells are going to cook in the oven. So if you look at a recipe for manicotti, they'll tell you to boil the shells and fill the shells like I'm doing here. And they're flimsy and they're soft and it's a pain in the butt. And they also taste kind of, I don't know, washed out. And they're always a little bit, I like my pasta kind of al dente, where it's got not a crunch to it, but it's a little firmer. And you can't really overcook this stuff. Because what I was going to say is you're supposed to put it in the oven after you do the old school way of doing it. You put it in the oven for about an hour at 350 degrees. What I do is I put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 1.5 to 2 hours. If you want your shells to be al dente, like very firm, then you put it in for 1.5 hours. We like them not soft and mushy, but kind of chewy. So I'll do it for 2 hours because then they're a little bit better. But again, you're going to have some of this ricotta stuff left over. And it's delicious. I guess I should say the little disclaimer here. There is raw eggs in it. I don't really think, I've never gotten sick from a raw egg. But if you, it does have raw eggs in it. So if you have a problem with that or you think you might, you don't want to eat this raw because of the raw egg. Otherwise, it's delicious. It's like, there's times when I will actually just lick the bowl because it's kind of like making a cake. And again, get a big bowl when you do this. You could mix this in a smaller bowl, but it's easier to use this big bowl because I can just put the shell in there and I have plenty of room to work with it and I can scrape it along the side. I don't know if you can see that, but I just scrape it along the side and fill it up. I mean, it's filling a pasta shell. It's not rocket science. So anyhow, this is for those, like I say, finding joy. I was telling them earlier, my stepdad, when I was in college, his father was from Sicily. Originally from Sicily, and he lived in South. No, stuff's good. He lived in South Beach, and we were talking about this, and he's like, "Well, how do you make your shells?" I'm like, well, like everybody else does, I boil them. And of course, thick Italian accent, he's like, no, there's a better way to do it. And he was telling me to do it this way. And he said, then this way, your shells cook in the spaghetti sauce. So they have the spaghetti sauce flavor in the shell instead of being kind of washed out and bland. When I do boil them, which I haven't done for decades now, I always put a little butter on them because then you have at least some butter flavor. so they're not completely washed out. But again, I wish there was a way to do this faster or jump to the end. I mean, I guess I could end it and just, you guys could see the gist of what I'm doing. But Nancy will be home after work. She doesn't have to cook. It's our wedding anniversary, so we're going to somewhat celebrate. My shoulder's killing me. I way overdid it yesterday. I keep thinking I'm 24 years old. And for those of you who are kind of waiting, I have not heard about our dogs. The dog that I was talking about the other day, she actually had surgery this morning. So I'm still waiting to hear how that went and if it was cancer. We're praying that it's not. You know, I even kind of hate to bring it up because it's just sad, because she's an awesome dog. She's a therapy dog for a police department in the middle of the country. She's a hell of a dog to hunt over. She is just very close to our family, and yeah. So we'll find out about that, and I'll make sure and let you guys know. So anyway, I don't know if you can see that. I'm messing them in a pretty big pan. This is one of those, I don't know, 9 by 12, I think, or whatever it is, 8 by 12 deep dish. Because again, we're going to boil these shells. Are basically going to cook in the spaghetti sauce with the added water. So you have to make sure you got it deep enough. I've tried doing it in a shallow pan, and you cover it with aluminum foil when you cook it. So I've tried that, and it just boiled over, made a huge mess. So we only did that once. But as you can see, it takes more. If you do this with regular shells, it takes more. Thanks, Bonnie Joy. I appreciate it. We really do. We hope she's going to be okay. There's a lot of prayers going up from all y'all, too. And we appreciate that, because we love our critters, their family. Our girls are our babies. We've got children, and as y'all know who have them, they're just like kids. And, anyhow, thank you for the good wishes. I will let everybody know tonight, even if I just get on for a minute, because I don't know, man, it's just sad. I don't understand why. I mean, y'all know I have faith, very strong faith. It's hard for me to understand why good things happen to bad people all the time and bad things happen to good people. I know it's the devil. I know it's this world. I know when we get where we're going that's going to quit. But it still doesn't make it any easier. And I pray that each and every one of you is having an awesome summer and a safe summer, and you guys are enjoying your time. I would have gone fishing today, but Cole Younger wants to go again tomorrow morning. So we're probably going to go live in the morning for a little while. And if y'all watched the other night, Cole's a hoot. He started his rodeoing again. Their circuit started up this week, so he's going to be busy rodeoing. So anytime I get a chance to go fishing with that kid, we're going to go. There's always this one. As you can see, this pan is about full. There's always one. So I either nestle it in here if I can fit it in there. You can lay it on top. I can move these down. You just got to find a place for it. And if you can't find a place for it, you can actually turn all your little shells. Because again, remember, if you crush them in there, it's going to break the shell. So, we have got a pan full of manicotti. Let me rinse my hands off here so I don't make a huge mess in the kitchen. Because, of course, the kitchen has to be clean when the wife gets home. Because it is, again, our anniversary. So there's what we got. So we take the rest of our spaghetti sauce, and you just want to cover this, but you want it covered kind of thick. Like, there's always I'm not going to use this whole thing of spaghetti sauce because there's plenty in here. Usually, again, if you're doing it quick, down and dirty, dump the whole thing in there. But we eat enough spaghetti sauce around here. Although I haven't been, because since I've been staying on my diet. I really have, kind of. So, we didn't use the full thing. There's enough in there to make some spaghetti later. And I'll transfer this to a smaller thing to put in the fridge so it doesn't take up fridge space. But then once we do that, we're going to get our water. And again, this is not like a big deal. I just kind of get some water and kind of thin this sauce out a little bit because it's going to thicken up. You just pour it on top and just eyeball it because, again, you kind of want to mix it in there over the top of it. And just make sure you got a layer over the pasta it's like not even a quarter an inch. You just need to cover it really good because there's spaces in there you're filling up. And that's why we put spaghetti sauce in the bottom when we started, because you need to cook the whole, all the pasta. And it actually is really good too, because some of the bottom is always a little bit firmer than the top. And again, like I'm the guy who likes the lasagna shells when they make, my wife likes lasagna. I like the lasagna noodles. I like them a little bit crunchy and not like burnt crunchy, just kind of al dente, but you know, kind of firm. So we took everything that's left in here for the most part. Again, I'm doing this quick and down and dirty because I would get a spatula and I'd clean it out. And I take this leftover and I just put it across the top here. And the reason I do this will make a nice little thing of cheese that when you get your, we have garlic bread, but garlic sticks. You dip it in this cheese that you cooked on top with this stuff. And as you can see, I don't cover the whole top. I just kind of, you know, make a middle of it where it's covered. Okay. Of course, we gotta lick it. I'm telling you, it's like ice cream. It's so good. And I know what it's gonna taste like, because if you've done it for the first time, add a little bit of your spice and taste it, because you gotta adjust it to how you like it. And I'm Southern. We don't cook the same way every time, ever. It is, you know, it'll taste about the same, but my wife and my sister's really good at this. Is we'll fix something and it's missing something, and if I can't figure it out, my wife or Tracy can taste it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it needs celery salt," or "Oh yeah, it needs white pepper," or "Oh yeah, it needs sage." I mean, it'll be something really stupid that I wouldn't think of, but they're right because they know what they're doing. So anyhow, we have our big pan of manicotti, and it makes the best leftovers too. This stuff, again, it's like ice cream, man. When it's cold, I eat it cold. I'll eat it for breakfast. This stuff is so good. So anyway, take and cover this with aluminum foil, and you want to cover it good because again, we had the big boil up sitting that time, and man, this stuff, it's delicious, but it is a mess to clean up in the bottom of the oven. And I do it in the oven. I don't know how else you do this. My wife's got this air fryer that it bakes, it dices, it slices, it makes julienne fries and little radishes. It looks like flowers, like it does everything. But I don't know how to use it. So there's our manicotti. We're going to turn this because we already made a place in the refrigerator here for this thing down there. And we just throw it in the fridge. The cool thing is, if you're having a dinner party or something, you can make 2 or 3 pans of this stuff, and you can put it in the fridge for days. Like, you know, put it in the fridge, you know, on a Tuesday. Again, it's got raw egg in it. I wouldn't let it sit for, 2 weeks or something. But you can make this ahead of time and then just pull it out and throw it in the oven. Now, when it's been in the fridge for a day or two, I will cook it at 350 degrees for 2 hours, and then I'll check it because it's coming from a cold refrigerator. If I just had finished it like this, I'll throw it in there and I'll do it at 350 degrees for an hour and a half, and I'll check it. So, like Big Cookie Tray will catch the overspill. Yeah, I did that with the small pan that I had before. Thank you for that tip, because you're absolutely right. She's saying put a small pan. You guys can read the chats, I guess. Again, I'm new to all this stuff. But yeah, what we did was I got that big glass pan that had the high sides on it. So I didn't, I'm old. Anyway, so that's how I make my manicotti. Try it. You can use the recipe that's on the back, because I think on the shell package there's usually a recipe, I think. Yeah, and it's manicotti with cheese. It's basically what I just did, but they're calling for like 2 containers, 30 ounces of ricotta cheese, 1 box of this, 2 cups, 8 ounces, but they're only putting 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan. I like a 1/4 cup. It just tastes so much better with a 1/4 cup in there. The 1 egg, they call for an egg, parsley, salt, black pepper. I put garlic and I put Italian seasoning in it. But there's a recipe here. You can do this. This will work too. But again, Southern, we just throw crap in there and eat it. finding joy on this journey. I hope you find joy today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to go ahead and end this to try and keep it, or maybe it'll show up on my feed so other people can enjoy it. Like and share and subscribe if you haven't. And again, I do kitchen stuff too. I'm not a guy who just grills. I can cook and bake and do all kinds of cool stuff because my mom and granddad made damn sure that I thank you very much for finding joy on this journey. I appreciate you. I will let you guys know about the dog. I will. As soon as I hear something, maybe when I get off of here, there'll be a text message. Because please keep praying for that, though, because these are really good people. And they don't need this right now. And they're financially okay. It's not that. It's just they've had a really rough year last year. And then to have they have several monster landers, and this is sad. So anyway, thank you very much for enjoying this journey. You guys have a wonderful day. I hope the people that watch this liked it, and again, subscribe. I hope it'll save it. If not, I'll make it again and do a video so I can put it on my stream so people can come back and look at the recipe for this. Love you guys. Thank you very much. God bless you. Please be safe. You saw what happened in Idaho yesterday with the crazy that set the fire and then shot the fireman. You all need to be really careful out there. I don't want to get into politics. I don't like doing that on this channel. But this world, I hope God's coming back. Jesus is coming back soon. Because all of us will be much better off up there. But I can't believe somebody do that. Being an ex-law enforcement officer too. It's just unbelievable. So please be safe out there. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And we will see you again soon. If I could shut it off. Bye now.